So here we are. We met by chance. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. I remember the first time I met you, it was during another educators workshop. And I remember that you had some interesting questions or comments during that workshop. You said something, and I thought, oh, okay, this is a cool person. And I think I connected with you on LinkedIn, and I told you that there was
Mhm.
something interesting that you said, that I agreed with you, that I thought it was really something valuable that added to the discussion. And this is how
Mhm.
we started talking and realizing how much we have in common.
Yes.
And when we started doing our projects together, how well we fit together with our
Mhm.
approaches and how it's complementary. We
Mhm.
don't have the same ideas, but our ideas are always based on the same principles and a very similar methodology and two very different experiences. And both of those together, I think, are a really good match. And we've gotten these
Yes.
comments from people who came to our workshops that we have a good dynamics together. And I've really enjoyed that.
Yes, me too.
I think the fact that I love teaching adults was the most important part of that decision because I don't think our education systems are made for adults.
Not at all. Yeah.
So even though we have this idea of educating yourself throughout your career and throughout your adult life, we don't really have systems that make it happen in the best way possible. So I wanted to be
Mhm.
part of the force that drives
Mhm.
towards a better education for adults.
What is a methodology like? How do you, in fact, teach them, or how do you work with adults who want to improve their English skills?
The most important thing for adults is that it's relevant to their experience. And this is often the first complaint I hear about their previous experiences. Textbooks approaches are geared towards a middle ground, finding a bit that is interesting or useful for the maximum number of people. But in my methodology, I go from their specific needs and their specific contexts. So all of the examples will be tailored to whatever they need on a daily basis and whatever they can use tomorrow. So it's very
Mhm.
important that from the very first lesson, they are speaking about the things that they would be speaking in English with their colleagues or their clients or collaborators. And we're not wasting time on practicing things that they don't necessarily need to succeed in their line of business. What are the biggest changes that you've seen in your field, and how have the students changed in their needs?
I would say that globalization has had its impact, and that today, when we talk about intercultural differences, they are not as obvious and as expressed as they were maybe 30, 40 years ago. Because now, especially, when I observe my children, they are very similar to other the children or other young people of their age in Germany, in Austria, in France, in the UK, in Asia, in Africa, everywhere across the world. But then I think maybe we really have to focus more on intercultural differences between generations, within certain communities, and not so much talking about, intercultural geographical differences. And so this is something that I have, in fact, focused and then also changed my approach to training on these topics among my participants, because I think it's not really about learning how to communicate, I don't know, with the Japanese or with people in Brazil, but I think it's more becoming aware on our own way of communicating and on how we perceive and accept the messages that we receive.
If you could give just one piece of advice to everyone who is working in a mixed environment with people of different generations, from different cultures, different backgrounds, what would it be?
I have been really enjoying, the shift in age. As I grow old, all of a sudden I have realized that, I'm no longer a 30-year-old and or a 20-year-old, and I cannot be perceived by young people in the same way as I was 20, 30 years ago. And I would say that the best advice to share with someone, be it younger or older person, is to remain open and open-minded and really to keep on learning. The other piece of advice is really to do self-reflection, really to think, why are we having a communication problem? Is it because of the other person or is it because of me? Because I have prejudice, I'm prone to stereotypes, I am ethnocentric, egocentric.
Yeah, I love what you said. I think it's easier said than done
Of course.
for all of us. We all have biases. I think that's also
Mhm.
something that we should all remember because
Mhm.
even us as educators, with an open mindset and a willingness to learn, we will fall into these traps because
Mm.
that's how human brains work. And
Yes.
if we don't combat it actively, then it can become an
Mhm.
issue. So, for the people watching and hesitating and thinking, I'm not sure this is for me, or maybe I'll make a fool out of myself, maybe this is just for advanced speakers of English, what would you tell them?
No, I would tell them definitely that it is for them. As I have just said, our focus is always on the participants, of course, on the group, but also on individuals. And the point of our project, on our training, is not to enable somebody to get a degree in English or to get a new certificate, but really on boosting their communication skills. So we really want to make them feel safe within the space that we will create, within the group that we will have, no matter how diverse the group may be. But in fact, we really want to work on their self-confidence and make them test things and really develop their communication and professional skills so that by the end of the day, they will really feel, oh, yes, okay, I have made progress. And now I feel strong enough to, I don't know, to do a presentation, to run a meeting, to be a better leader in my organization.